The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome to Last Call, where tonight we are continuing the Life Day celebration. Sort of. See, as I mentioned last week, today is actually the 45th anniversary of the only airing of the Star Wars Holiday Special. And for all the derision it's gotten over the years, history truly needs to be viewed in context. And for as weird as the Holiday Special may seem today, and don't get me wrong, it is weird, it just didn't seem as weird back in the 70s. I'm going to explain why tonight. We're going to talk about the TV variety show, the pop culture of the 70s, and we are actually going to watch an often forgotten Star Wars gem, the Donnie and Marie Show episode featuring a Star Wars tribute. So top off your glasses, maybe make it a double, and strap in. This last call is going to be far out, and the Canarble Wagon rolls right now.
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken!
The Kraken!
Why is the rum always gone?
Trust me, you're gonna need it. Just saying. Welcome, Vasalud. Let's get everybody in here. Let's start with my beautiful wife, Netter of Netter's Network. How you doing today, sweetie? What you sipping on?
I am doing so much better. Yeah, it's like doctor got me on new drugs and I got my voice back. Fever's gone. Feeling so much better.
Which reminds me, from last week, those of you waiting on a copy of the holiday special, Netter will be getting those out. You guys know she was laid up. She was even trying to get out her own discs to some people from her channel. She got those out, but she'll be getting mine out very, very soon.
Yep,
So,
I'll be working on those this weekend and they should go out Monday.
there you go. So what you sipping on?
This is a blood orange lemonade seltzer water, which tastes nothing like lemonade and nothing like blood orange.
Well,
All I'm
okay
tasting
then.
is seltzer,
There you go then.
which is totally fine because I like seltzer.
There you go. That's fair. And let's get my designated driver in tonight because I know I'm going to need him. How you doing, Agent Boomer? What you sipping on?
I'm doing all right. I have a Coca-Cola Classic here with Santa Claus on the can. They have brought the Santa cans back.
There you go. We're getting into the holidays, and yeah, we're
Haven't had
getting
those
into
for
that.
years.
We're getting into that holiday spirit. And I was just having a conversation with Continuing Chronicles. He dropped a video today. Make sure you check it out. It's set during Black Friday in his superhero universe, and there's a superhero combat in a mall. And I'm like, well, that seems pretty appropriate. And we were just commiserating a little bit about how much we miss, the malls and, like he said, Walden Books and whatnot. The 80s were a great time, and it's just kind of not the holidays without it. It's like something's really missing. He said, I was trying to explain to my kids, because I mentioned The Legend of the Superheroes, the roast from 1979, and they didn't get it. Are you suggesting we should do a watch party of that? Because I can do it. I have the DVD. No doubts. That we could make that happen. I mean, hey, if you guys were willing to sit through the holiday special, I think the Batman roast might be kind of fun. But
Wait, you said willing to sit through the holiday special.
well, you didn't technically have to be on the show, but you did. So, hey, PJ of Orville Nation, welcome. Painting shelves. We'll check the chat every few minutes or so. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And yeah, it's been a little crazy behind the scenes, so you're gonna have to bear with me when it gets to viewing time.
You have to pin the Cosby link, correct? Or are we watching it live on YouTube?
I haven't even gotten the Cosme link yet.
Yeah,
That's how
I'll get
far behind I am. Well, no, don't put it out yet because there's nothing for them to go to yet. I don't have it set up yet.
Okay.
Well,
Like I said, it is
but
on
I see it
YouTube.
ready.
Yep. And David Pensack, how you doing, my friend? Are you a little bit country or a little bit rock and roll? See, he knows. He's ahead of the game on this one. We will definitely be talking about that, my friend.
Yeah, I still thought it was creepy that a brother and sister were singing love songs to one another.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. The Captain and Tennille, Tony, Orlando, and Dawn, Sonny and Cher. The 70s were awesome. And blessed to have lived at that time. Yes, have a great stream. Thank you so much, Big Al, of Big Al Presents. Yeah, those of us of a certain age, we remember. We remember. I had actually forgotten about the bionic watermelon on Captain and Tennille. That's a great memory. I love that. We will talk a little bit about the $6 Million Man tonight. We kind of have to. As we go through this episode, I got to explain the pop cultural references, right? Let's see. Hello, everyone. Hello. Oh, Connie Cleary, welcome. Good to see you. So good to see you. And then, of course, you guys all saying hi to each other. Netter of Netter's Network. I'm sure she's got the love for me somewhere. I don't see it, but
It's the very first comment
there it
I
is.
made.
I love you too, sweetie.
You're always my first comment.
Of course. Well, yeah, but then you had a string of them, so it was separated out. Deleted scenes. My man, good to see you there. Dropping the links for everyone. I super appreciate it. On my way home from door dashing, says Samuel Proctor. Well, take it easy. Get home when you can. Be safe. That's far more important. PJ says he's away from keyboard, can't type. That's perfectly fine. Appreciate the fact that you're listening in. And here's someone else that jumped on me. Well, hi, Deleted Scenes. Yes, thank you for dropping Orville Nations link. Here is somebody who definitely has chewed some of the same temporal ground as Netter and I. She remembers the 70s, maybe even clearer than we do. Good evening, everyone. Drinking a Sprite. Well, there you go. In case I need another designated driver, that could absolutely help.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's the other 7-Up, right? Keely Chow. Welcome. Getting through them as quickly as I can. Here's this aged boomer derelict. And Matt Inouye, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Didn't watch the holiday special last week. I was just listening to the live stream. That's fair. I'm sure you've probably seen it before. I do have a link in the description below of last week's so that you can see the version that we were talking about, minus my little add-in commercials.
The Thank the Maker edition.
The Thank the Maker edition, absolutely. Let's see. Jesse Guajardo. Hey, Netter and Troy. And everybody else. Connie saying hi to everybody else. Let's see. Everybody saying hi to each other. I super appreciate that. Tim Hayes. Always good to see you, my friend from the left coast. You are awesome, my friend. Just beat a very bad mission in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Never played it myself, but I certainly understand that feeling. So good on you, mate. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and jump into our conversation for the night. I am going to go off camera briefly because while we're starting this stream, I am going to I'm going to get the Cosme link set up. So I don't want, looking at the side of my head and everything. It seems kind of rude. So
But you got cute ears.
Let me. How do I get out of here? I don't want to remove myself from the stream.
Oh, honey, we have a
Stop
special
cam.
visitor,
Stop cam. There.
the chairman.
Oh, the chairman. Evening, everyone. Good to see you. We will be watching that episode of the Donnie and Marie show in just a moment. And I will be back on camera in just a moment. Not that anyone wants to see my ugly mug. I'm just saying. But I have to get I got to get the link all hooked up. So let's start with you, Aged Boomer. I know, despite your name, you are slightly younger than Netter and myself. Mm-hmm. How well do you remember the 70s, and how well do you remember the television of the 70s?
I don't remember the 70s at all because I was born in 77. In fact, to be fair, I think it was like a week or two, I think after Star Wars came out, or maybe before, but it was around that time. So
wow. So you are going to be the one who'll be leading through this.
Now, to be fair, there was still 70s, like, aftershock in the 80s. Like, I knew of the things of the 70s because I guess when I was starting to notice things when I was like 3 or 4, that was, probably when the 80s were in full swing. But of course, there were still 70s holdover, right? So.
Yeah.
My dad had a leisure suit tucked away in the closet.
Leisure suit. Oh, let me tell you. So I was born in at the beginning of 71, so January of 71, and my mother had, after Netter and I had been married for a while, and although kids were not in the cards for us, there was always that hope. My mother gave me all of my childhood, clothes and whatnot. And I'm going through, and I found, oh gosh, it must have been 76. So I'd have been like 5 years old at the time. Some outfits from when I was 5 years old. One of them was a purple leisure suit.
Oh wow,
dude! You guys wonder why I grew up the way I did? Holy crap! Let me tell you. Bell bottoms, hip huggers, and if you saw a picture of me in that leisure suit, I had this like page boy style, like Beatles haircut. Oh, it was.
See, now,
I looked like Tony Tennille, for crying out loud.
Did you
I
go
haven't
around?
looked phenomenal in bell bottoms and hip huggers.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing that I often say. There were some weird styles in the 70s, but they look good on the women. Hip huggers look stupid on guys. Bell bottoms look stupid on guys.
Unless you were a sailor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, they didn't wear the hip huggers though. They did wear the bell bottoms, and that's where that style came from, because they were swabbies. But no. But guys, that looked.
Oh, platform shoes.
Welcome, Dr. Omega. Good to see you. Mid to late 72. My kid picks are all turtlenecks and plaid pants. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I had the plaid pants.
A lot of turtlenecks in the wintertime, and I had corduroys. So if you had to run for the bus, you go, and your crotch would catch fire.
Whoa, okay, that's fun.
Yeah, it's like, I was a tomboy growing up, so I had plaid pants, but they were boys' pants because I didn't want girls' pants because they didn't look good enough. Plus, I was always, running around like the boys. So, if y'all remember when you were kids and the knees would wear out on your pants, my mother had such a hard time with me because I was always playing in the, on the ground, in the dirt and all that, just like the boys. So my knees would get worn out constantly. So she was always putting patches over the knees, which looked really bizarre now that I look back at it.
You know what? It was so ubiquitous, though, it almost became a style in and of itself, to be honest with you.
Yeah, those plaid pants. I remember going to one store, and I saw a pair of plaid pants I wanted, and they were my size, but they were on the mannequin. So my sister reached up and pulled them off the mannequin just so that we can buy them for me.
Well, if that was the only one in your size, that's like buying the floor model or something, right?
The whole point of the mannequin is to sell the pants, right?
Right, exactly. Although usually you ask somebody that works there to take it off for you, but whatever,
No, it would have been some guy just, probably not wanting to do it, being all sleazy or something, right? No, I'll ask my manager,
And of course, it was still the long hair. A holdover from the 60s.
Yeah, long hair is nice.
The girls, it looked really good. The guys, it was always like, get a haircut.
Yeah, get a haircut. I have a question, Troy. When you were in that
Yeah.
little leisure suit, did you sneak into the disco and start asking the older woman what their sign was? To get
No, I did not. Probably, yeah. I wish, right? But,
you could have gotten away with it. They wouldn't. They would. Oh, that's cute.
I do have some stories that I could tell, but I want to keep it PG-13.
I got you. All right.
At least, see, this is the funny thing, because these are stories that I was told that I don't remember because I was just too young to remember. You can go ahead and post that Cosme link, and I'll pin it to the top. And welcome Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. He was on with Netter last night, and we were talking with him, and it was a great conversation. And then he dropped a video today, kind of continuing that conversation, giving us a shout out. Make sure you go and check that out. He is a woefully, wrongfully undersubbed channel. You should really. He's got wisdom beyond his years. He's a young man, but he's got a lot of knowledge to share. You should really check out his channel. So I don't want this to seem like too big a culture shock to our friends in the chat. But one of the things we talk about a lot is pop culture. I think I'm set, so I think I can go back on camera. So how do I do that? Start camera again. There we go.
Pop culture.
So we have the DCU, DC Cinematic Universe, whatever you want to call it, the Snyderverse, whatever.
Okay.
Now it's become the James Gunn verse. It hasn't started yet. We're still
with the same writers. I'm sorry. Wait, no.
We still have
your mouth.
We still have the same the last dregs of the Snyderverse dripping out of our buttholes, but that's a whole other thing. And we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's all these interconnected, superhero stories. But you know what? We had all that stuff in the 70s too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were just talking here about the legend of the superheroes and the roast of Batman. And that's kind of where it started. It was this very tongue-in-cheek, in the style of Adam West, because it was Adam West and Burt Ward coming back as Batman and Robin, and a bunch of the superheroes from the Justice League. All with the exception of they couldn't use Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman had her own show on CBS. They couldn't use Superman because Superman had his own feature films with Christopher Reeve. So we had that whole DC universe, and honestly, in my opinion, as weird as that Legend of the Superheroes was, still better than the Snyderverse. Man, I'm saying it. That's just my opinion. But Marvel was doing their own kind of thing, too. We had several Spider-Man movies, or really it was a TV live-action series starring Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man. We've talked about that before.
Captain America?
And Captain America. We had a couple of made-for-TV movies.
Christopher Lee was in one of them, remember?
Yes, he was. It starred... Oh, what was that kid's name that played Steve Rogers?
I don't know.
Oh, somebody in the chat's going to get it.
He had curly
Reb something. Reb Williams or Reb something or other.
Reb something, yeah. Reb Williams maybe or something.
Yeah, I think so. And they did a decent job trying to explain, instead of him being frozen in ice, it was his grandfather who had served in World War II and everything. There's that whole story. But what really most people remember of the Marvel superheroes from TV was the Incredible Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno and what's his name, Bill Bixby, and there was, yeah, exactly. And they almost did a crossover with the Nicholas Hammond Spider-Man. It was going to be Spider-Man and the Hulk. When that didn't come to pass, what we did end up getting was a series of Hulk movies that brought in Daredevil.
Yes.
Including the Kingpin, played by John Rhys Davies.
Yes.
There was Thor.
I remember the one with Thor.
Pardon me?
I remember the one with Thor.
Yeah. And they even went as far as to have the Donald Blake as the alter ego. Although they did it more in the style of like Donald Blake like calls Thor. He doesn't become Thor.
Do you want me to post a link?
Yeah, please go ahead. And there was a standalone Doctor Strange film that people don't even realize was out there. So that was a thing too. So yeah,
Okay, pin it.
and not to mention there was also the. Let me go ahead and just pin this.
No Iron Man though,
huh? No, there was not an Iron Man actually. Pin message. There we go. And yeah. So what was I going to say? Yeah. So this, when I see this stuff, it's like, yeah, you still have something to live up to. As goofy as some of that stuff was, as low budget as it was, it still wasn't bad. Evelyn's saying 1975, my beautician was watching TV and not paying attention when she lightened my hair. It came out blonde. Next day I went shopping while wearing a white jumpsuit.
Oh, funny.
I can imagine that, Evelyn. I really, really can. Oh my gosh. That's
Actually,
just
though,
crazy.
that blonde color was a style all of itself. It's like the girls wanted the lighter colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole DC cinematic universe or whatever, that's a fan contrivance because they never did. And it's like, well, don't bitch about what the fans are calling it. You haven't made anything official.
Oh, can I respond to Samuel Proctor? Wow, it's almost like you're telling me they didn't have a plan.
Yeah, well, you ain't wrong there.
And they still do. Still don't. I'm sorry, I'll be nice. We'll give James Gunn a chance, maybe.
Kids today are spoiled as hell. They complain about the Marvels movie, but back in the day, we made do with painted Lou Ferrigno. And honestly, it wasn't bad. Looking back, by comparison, honestly. Red Brown, thank you, David Pensack. And yeah, everyone else is chiming in too.
Have you ever seen the fake trailer someone made for the 1970s Avengers? Like if they had made it with all the, and it's.
I did.
I don't know what they got for Iron Man, but
it was some serialized movie. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was. Yeah.
Except they got that long 70s hair and the mustache, Tony Stark instead of the cropped hair.
Oh, Red Brown follows deleted scenes on Facebook. Good guy, family man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, the guy that played Thor. Oh, God. Who was the guy that played Thor? Because he was in some other stuff, too.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
Yeah, he was. He really, really was. We also got Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man costume in Japan. Yeah, that was the same costume. You're absolutely right. We almost got She-Hulk. Brigitte Nielsen would have played the role. She was the one who
really?
did the test screens for it and everything, yeah. Looks like it wasn't going too well. I mean, they weren't going to paint her green. They were going to give her a green outfit. It was,
dumb.
It would have been dumb.
Dumb.
1974 Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. And 1975 Terror of Mechagodzilla. There you go, Jesse Guarda.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, Godzilla was still going strong in the 70s.
Yeah, there were Saturday morning. In fact, go back to the 60s. The Marvel superheroes had a serialized. It was before the Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. They had they were very low res graphics. It was what today they would call motion comics. Literally, you'd have a still panel and they would like cut out, the Hulk jumping, and they just move him across a background. That's how they did the jumping effect.
And it was good enough.
And it was good enough. Yeah. It was stories directly from the comics. Although, even back in the 60s, they edited for the modern audience because they took out all the Nazi symbols and put in Hydra symbols and
what about the Mandarin? They censor him.
No, they
Okay.
didn't, because it was still the 60s. They still
Right,
got
okay.
away with, with that kind of thing. Absolutely. But yeah. So Boomer, you didn't really grow up with variety shows then, did you?
No.
But you do at least know of one, because there was one in the 80s.
What's the
Dolly
one?
Parton had a variety show.
I didn't watch it.
You missed out, because it was probably the best of all of them.
Was Soul Train a variety show? Or-
No, and I'm glad you brought that
All
up,
right.
because and this is just my, my observation. I believe this is how things went. So when we've talked about this on the channel before. When TV was in its infancy, a lot of what we got was the equivalent of stage productions being broadcast, right? That's what really all the TV dramas, the sitcoms, and all of that, it was being played, with the three walls, the open fourth wall, the camera filming. Think about, I Love Lucy, stuff like that, right? Even into the 70s with, All in the Family and all that kind of stuff, They go from room to room, and you just go through the wall to see what they were doing in the other room, and oftentimes in the 70s, filmed before a live studio audience. So you got the laugh and the clap and all that kind of stuff. But in addition to that, you would also get like televised concerts. You would get, sometimes at the holidays, big spectacles, dancing numbers, all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And you started to get weekly musical shows like, who is that polka guy that had the show with the bubbles and the wonderful? Somebody knows. Netter. Netter, I know, watched it, but I don't think she's listening.
Lawrence Welk.
Right. Lawrence Welk.
I did watch Lawrence Welk, dear.
But you'd have known who I meant. And, the Smothers Brothers, thank you, Continuum Chronicles.
I'm familiar with them a little bit.
Yeah, and,
there's also Laugh-In.
well, I was getting there. That came in the late 60s, the early 70s. So you've got these shows, and they started to combine them, right? So you ended up with sketch shows like Laugh-In, right? Where you just had these rapid-fire, humor numbers. Little sketches, little bits, right? Probably the best one of all of them was the Carol Burnett show. If you can, and there's plenty of them on YouTube. You want to go down a wonderful rabbit hole, look up the Carol Burnett show. There were some wonderful bits in there. Harvey Korman, who was in the holiday special from last week, yeah, he was a regular.
And some of the funniest bits on those shows is because it was live.
It was live.
They would
there was
start
a lot of
cracking
improv.
up.
They would make each other laugh, so they'd be like, and then they'd both be cracking up, and that's what you'd end up laughing at. It was great stuff. And then you had like Laugh-In, and then I don't know if it started in the late 60s, but definitely by the early 70s. Lawrence Welk, yeah, thank you, Evelyn. We were getting into the true variety show, where you had the humor sketches, but then they'd be interspersed with musical numbers, and we're talking full-on music numbers, like Las Vegas shows, in little doses, all strung together with who knows what, Plus, they had to have the commercials in there too, and they always had to get them down to the 1 hour mark, right? Mm-hmm. But they definitely had the glitz and the cheesiness of the 70s. There's really no way around that. And I'd say that by the end of the 70s, I'd say I don't know, by like 77, 78, it was starting to trail off. So the Donnie and Marie, this episode we're going to watch today, it's the first episode of their third season. They're kind of at the tail end of it. But it was far more common that you would have musical anchors for the show, right? Donnie and Marie, Sonny and Cher. Like I said, later in the 80s, you had Dolly Parton and whatnot, because they would be opening it up with the music. They'd close it with the music. They'd have a big musical number in the middle, and then there'd be a lot of humorous acts throughout. So you'd have a lot of these musicians who hadn't always, really been into acting before, starting to cut their acting chops, and then, kind of launch themselves into bigger and better things later on. That weird Linda Carter singing special where she had fake Kiss members and sang a big Vegas showgirl. Yeah.
Weird.
Then Gene wore the same outfit in a movie later where he was a gender fluid villain. Wow. God, the 70s were a weird time. It really, really was. Continuing on, I have a theory that there are sub-decades, the first and last 2 years of each decade, where they haven't figured it out. Yeah, that's kind of true.
Can I make a comment to that? I can't speak to the 80s because it feels like the 80s became the 80s pretty quickly. I think especially with the election of Ronald Reagan, and I think the people were just wanting to get out of the 70s at that point. But I think the 90s had a very different vibe in the very beginning than it did toward the middle, and then even toward the end. I think there were sub-decades in the 90s.
The phenomenon going from the 70s to the 80s was the so-called malaise, right, of the Carter administration, and then the and I use this in the early 80s sense of the word, not the modern sense of the word, the neoconservatism of the Reagan administration.
Well, look at movies even from the early 80s. Like, you could see how, like, something you could tell and that comes out in 1980 was shot in 79, so the 70s feel. But really going a little more into the 80s, stuff just starts feeling like 80s at that point. That's just my recollection.
Deleted scenes? Can you not put the word cocaine into the chat?
Possibly not. Maybe it's a blocked word. I don't know. It is an illegal substance, is it not?
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't have thought it was a problem. I don't know.
Okay. You know what? I was still a young child in 81, 82, Continue Chronicles. Maybe it did feel like the 70s. I will say that the late 80s to the early 90s had a different vibe than before the recession hits, and then you get like grunge rock and everything else.
Flip Wilson show with Geraldine. Yes, I remember that too. And he would be canceled today for that, right? Just like, all the other, great comedians who had these cross-dressing type, female characters that they played, right? They'd all be canceled today.
Well, and because everything would have been considered to be racist now.
Yeah.
Because of all the in-jokes and whatnot. And this is the thing. Back then, there were no snowflakes. People just, took it in turn because it was a joke.
Culturally
and everyone knew it was
insensitive
just a joke.
jokes are crass. That we can admit.
Right.
But I do feel like most people were made of sterner stuff back then.
Yeah. They made jokes against whites, blacks, Asians, Hispanics, you name it, there were jokes made about them. And everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's a joke. Ha ha ha.
There won't be much of that in tonight because so let's talk a little bit about the Osmonds, right? The Osmonds were a Mormon family, very musically talented, right? It was a whole bunch of brothers and one sister. She was the child of the family, right? Actually, Donnie was the youngest of the boys, right?
Okay.
So when you said the Osmonds, you meant the four older brothers, right? They were the boy band, right?
Okay.
And they created the Donnie and Marie show as a vehicle for, obviously, the kids, Donnie and Marie, right? And let's face it, they were great kids. They had great chemistry, and they were really going to push their music career. But I'm sure there was some thought of, the dancing, the acting, comedy. They were trying to become really, really well rounded. Again, I want to underscore Mormon. They were going for the clean cut, kind of thing. They weren't, they were trying to in a cool way, be clean cut, squeaky clean, right? So the unfortunate downside, though, is when you have a brother-sister team, most of the duets they're going to be singing are love songs. And if you get too much into your head in a way that Americans do, this isn't so much a problem in South America or, in Europe, right? Where, men sing female, penned songs, don't change the gender and vice versa. Doesn't mean anything about them being, it's just that's the way the song's written. Female is singing a song that's from the voice of a man. Doesn't matter. You're just singing a song, right? Same thing here. Brother and sister singing a love song. They're not really singing it to each other, but you're thinking they're singing it to each other. It seems kind of weird. They were also really young, so they never really thought about that. They were just performing, practicing a song, not thinking through those kinds of elements. They danced together.
Right.
Everything is pure to the pure-hearted, right? And I really think they were pretty pure-hearted, and I think a lot of people kind of projected a lot of sin on them that wasn't really there.
It was the 70s.
It was the 70s. So people tended to think very blue, in their head. But yeah, so you know what? Maybe the best way to do this is to kind of get into it.
All right.
Because it's I don't know. You kind of got to see it to understand it, right? It's only an hour-long show, no commercials, so it's going to be. We're looking at about 50 minutes, okay?
Oh, pity no commercials. That might have been fun.
The version that I have linked below, by the way, if you're watching this in the future and you're not watching it live, that's okay. You can still see what we're talking about by right-clicking on the link in the description, YouTube channel. I don't remember the name of the channel, but you'll find it when you link below.
Don't do it unless you really want to punish yourself.
Well, what might happen is if you enjoy it and you want to see the next one, you'll just end up in a rabbit hole watching them all. It's kind of crazy. But and yes, little Troy did watch this show every week. Every week, yeah. It was, in fact, this show, well, I got copious notes here. Because I'm going to have to talk you through this. Those of you that are too young or never saw any of this stuff, you might not get the cultural references, so you might miss some of the jokes. The Donnie Marie Show, Star Wars, it's not really a Star Wars special. It was just a regular show of theirs that had a Star Wars tribute in it. Was broadcast on September 23rd, 1977. It was a satiric tribute to Star Wars. Donny Osmond played Luke, and his sister Marie played Leia. This was before fans knew that Luke and Leia were brother and sister, so it worked out perfect, right? Chris Christopherson plays the role of Han Solo, and you know what? We'll get to the rest of that as we get into the show. The actual Star Wars segment is only about 10 minutes. So, we're going to be focusing on more of what the show is. And trust me, I'll spend some time during the musical segments talking through some of my other notes here.
Right.
This was all made with the approval of Lucasfilm. Some of the props, some of the costumes, I'm going to actually have to say all of the props and costumes that are used. Well, it's obvious what's not, right? Because there's some stormtroopers. There's Darth Vader, R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewbacca. Those are all the costumes and whatnot from the show. I think that the costume that Donnie and Marie are wearing are original. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. So do I have it linked to the? Yeah, I got it pinned to the top. So the Cosme link is pinned to the top of the chat there. You can do a right click on it and open it up so that you can watch along with us. Or you can click the link below if you want to do the YouTube thing. The only way that's going to work for you and still stay synced with us is if you have an ad blocker on, which I know is a hot button issue these days. Ooh. So if you want to Cosme it with us, that's great. You can always watch later on the link below. But yeah, so I just realized for some reason I have this muted. And you know what? I did not get an opportunity to check this. Let me open up my Cosme link here so that I can see if this works.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going into Cosme.
Yeah. Bear with me, folks. You know, even though we call him Aged Boomer, I'm kind of boomering it right now. Let's see, my rooms. Yeah, I didn't even have time to change the decor, so this is still set up for the Twin Peaks stream. So let me. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty, let me. Yeah, you guys are already in there chatting. Good. I usually can't keep track of two different chats at the same time, so you know, keep each other company. And I'm going to go ahead and get this started. So here we go. You see, you can even probably see my cursor on screen, right? And I'm going to count it down 3, 2, 1, play, and then we're going to hit play. 3, 2, 1, play. I can hear it. That must mean it's working.
I can hear it too.
Whoa.
And yes, this is. Oop, sorry
What'd
about
you
that,
do?
guys. I screwed up.
Oh.
We'll start over again. Give me a second here. Oh, for Pete's sake. This penny ante operation I got going here. Let's blow this up again. No. I got to do a countdown so that the people in the future will be all linked up with us and know what we're doing.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, play. I'm sorry, we're going to have a bar across the middle because I don't want to screw it up again, okay? You know, especially when I've been drinking here.
Whoa, this is some psychedelic stuff, man.
It is a little bit. And this is...
Floyd, what is this? This is...
Oh, very 70s, right? This was the new introduction from this season.
Holy cow.
Okay. So Southern Nights, song written and performed by Alan Toussaint from 1975, album Southern Nights, and later recorded by country music singer Glen Campbell. It was the first single released from Glen Campbell's 1977 album Southern Nights, reached number 1 for on 3 separate U.S. charts. And look at that cravat he's rocking there.
No,
I'm telling you, the 70s styles for men was
just look at that horribly ugly suit he's wearing.
That was funny in Austin Powers when he had a crushed velvet cravat. That's funny.
Okay, what's really funny is that suit that Johnny's wearing. I had one in denim. It looked much better on me.
Huh. Well, as Troy said, the outfits look better on the women usually in this.
Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely true. I'll let you listen to this for a second. Red Fox,
Sanford and Son.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Christopherson. He was Paul Lynde.
All in, yeah. They're brothers. Oh no, that looks like you know, it's a diverse cast. We didn't have that in the 70s, right? That didn't happen before this generation.
Yeah, there was no Good Times or Sanford and Son on the air.
Right.
Time.
Red Fox. What's that?
I also want to know why she's wearing one low boot and one high boot.
That'll come up in a second. Give it a minute. And this is what I was... What were you saying?
When was this shot? I guess not film, it's video.
Well, this was from 77, so... I don't know when they would have gotten it in the can. September of 77 is when it aired.
Where did they shoot it?
Oh, I actually don't know.
Was it Los Angeles or?
I don't know if it was Los Angeles or if this was filmed in like Utah. I don't know.
They have Paul Lynde there. I know he's.
Yeah.
Of course, he's a guest, so maybe he just would have flown in, right?
Yeah, I'll comment on the. And this is where it just starts getting real cringe, in my opinion. Especially the way they extend the song out. It's just weird.
I don't know
But
what
it comes
to-
off like a Las Vegas
Hey,
number.
You know what? I'm seeing legs, so I'm not complaining. Okay.
That's why I think everyone was clapping. Yes.
Yeah, and
Like
all
Samuel-
these things where you saw the aerial view of them dancing and stuff, that was a big thing back then.
This whole ice thing. So this was their thing. They had this ice rink on their stage. Later on, you'll see the girls roller skating. That was a big 70s thing. Well, it was a big deal to have a whole sound stage with an ice rink on it. The Brady Bunch had a variety show and a big pool for, synchronized swimmers. That was basically the same kind of concept, right? Now they're going to do their opening monologue, and they're going to. I did mention this is the first episode of the third season. Can someone do like a Google search? How old was Marie at the time? I'm thinking like 16.
I would need to know the year.
77.
77. Okay.
Boy, they have great teeth.
Yeah.
Yes. Nothing's changed. Donnie?
Her haircut?
Yes, that's what she's referring to.
This says she was about 18.
Okay.
So that means the show would have started when she was 16.
Yeah.
My hair looked like that
This is
in the
almost
late
reminding me a
70s
little
and
bit of-
early 80s.
This is sort of a Grand Ole Opry.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
I-
welcome
I-
Karen Owens, 16 when the show started. Yeah. Donnie
Yeah,
was
that-
18 when the show started.
What kind of haircut was that considered back then? Did it have a name?
They probably called it the Linda Hamilton.
Okay, right.
That was kind of a pixie-ish kind of thing.
Yeah,
Just a longer pixie.
Doesn't look bad.
I used to have my hair
And
like
now
that.
he's ripping on her about the boots. Great icon for tonight, by the way, Karen. Thank you. High and low, yeah. And she's got this great, and it's clearly the way they did her makeup and whatnot, but she's got this Linda Ronstadt, Carrie Fisher kind of look to her,
What's the joke? What I miss? I'm sorry.
He said, aren't you tired of coming out here with something that makes absolutely no sense but looks good? And then she just looks
that's
at
funny.
him. Yeah.
And they're both on ice skates.
And honestly, that's what this show is. It looks good, but it makes no damn sense. Dorothy Hamill, thank you. Yes.
Dorothy Hamill, okay.
Thank you. Yes, you're right. I got it right. Yeah, I'm an old man. I'm forgetting more than I remember.
We got the stars coming up.
Yeah, and this is, coming up because they were about to go to commercial break.
The thing about the 70s were all about the guest star, even on regular TV shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always
And the
about
Osmonds were all about teeth.
Yes.
True.
They look good.
So, of course, Red Fox, stand-up comedian, actor, best known for his portrayal of Fred Sanford in the TV show Sanford & Son, which ran from 1972 to 1977. And the fact that it ended in 77, and this is 77, there's a joke that comes up about that. He had a very successful junkyard for 5 years. I only wear a tuxedo when I'm shooting pool. That wasn't too good. Watch this. This is great. Improv! I love it. I spent a lot of time playing pool when I was in college.
Yeah.
I'm not very good. She's hustling here. She's hustling.
It's a tricky game. People don't know to learn how to do. I'll say that. Finally, someone's had the patience and taught me how to shoot the you know. The
It's all geometry, my friend.
Yeah, but I wasn't good at geometry. It was my most hated class in high school, actually.
What's really funny about this sketch here is you got these two guys that are going to play. Neither one of them are doing very well. They're kind of faking it because they're just doing a sketch. They're not really trying to play. A little interesting. Remember, everything's pure to the pure. Interesting. This is how he makes it interesting. Just put a little off center. That's how we make it interesting. Yeah, that'll do. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. That's as interesting as it gets. By the way, that's not tournament style. That's, the common in-home style.
Right.
Like a mother-in-law. Just drops in when it feels like. No tennis anyone in his neighborhood, right?
Wrong end, doofus.
Dr. Omega says, we ran out of that handle, Chuck. You're going to have to chalk up the other end. Your house, your rules. Dr. Omega says, I swear Red Fox was an old man when he was 20. Yeah.
Yes.
He was always old.
Yep.
Like Abe Vigoda. Abe Vigoda was
Abe
always
Vigoda,
old.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Why
it
is
didn't
that
just
one
freeze on my
frozen?
end.
No, it froze on my end too, but it's still playing. Let me just refresh. Because it's still playing.
I'm going to refresh. Refresh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pause
I'm
me.
refresh. Reload.
I'm missing all this good comic bit.
Okay.
What am I missing?
I'm sorry, guys.
What?
Sorry, guys. Just stick with me.
Yeah, mine says producer not found.
Don't know why that happened. Give me a second. I'll start it up again. We'll get it going.
To answer Samuel Proctor's question from earlier, would we have liked the Marvels had it been made in the 80s or 90s? It would have been a completely different film. For starters, they probably would have made the women more appealing in it. I mean, I haven't seen the new movie, though. I don't know. What I think probably would have happened, though, is if you look back to the 80s and 90s, those superhero movies were kind of a disreputable genre. I mean, we had the odd movie like Batman '89, but a lot of the time they were not well received. We had a horrible, I think, Captain America movie made in the either it was late '80s or early '90s.
Bear with me,
yeah.
guys. I'm
Let me
sorry.
see if he's responding in the chat.
I
It's okay.
apologize. I apologize.
We'll just consider it a commercial break.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. I wish it had happened at the commercial break, but...
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen the Marvels myself. I'm not planning on it. I did see the original Captain Marvel.
Go ahead and hit refresh again.
All right.
Yeah. You should be seeing them at the pool table now.
Give me a second. I see him at the pool table. Hit play?
Yeah, I'll hit play. Give me a second.
Right.
I'm not going to count it down. We're just... If you guys are following me live,
We'll tell you when this pool segment is over, and you can,
Oh, no. Let me jump ahead a little bit, because that's... Jump ahead about... Okay, interesting.
Can you get Donnie Marie on DVD or Blu-ray, just out of curiosity?
It's a good question. Can someone tell us? Twin Peaks cut in. Yeah. And Evelyn, join us on Tuesday if you want to watch Twin Peaks with us over on Deleted Scenes channel. I'm sorry. We're gonna cover
It's
the same
fine.
ground again.
It happens all the time.
He's queuing up the butt end of the queue.
Is this the younger man trying to act all sophisticated?
Yes, that's exactly what this shtick is. Exactly.
Yeah. And you can see through him, like, it's like...
My maid doesn't do tables. To do that on command, he actually had to practice that, you know? Yeah, have you heard of Minnesota Defense? This is Utah Useless. You could tell she knows what she's doing. Which is part of the shtick. You're going to see this is all prefab, right?
So, I don't have nothing to compare this to, because like I said, television in the 60s, was it more higher budgeted than what we were getting at this point, or was it just
It was more scripted.
Okay.
This is the equivalent of... This isn't reality TV yet, but it was trying to get away from the formulaic.
I guess Saturday Night Live also came out of this era, but it's one of the few shows that stuck around, right?
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Hey.
I realize I'm just holding...
Is that who I think it is?
Yep, that's Chris Christopherson. Thank you.
He was in
Marie.
A Star Is Born with Robert Streisand.
He was, yeah. Country singer, songwriter, actor, better known for songs popularized by Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Rita Coolidge, and Johnny Cash, and Janis Joplin, than his own songs in many cases. This song is called Living Legend off of his 1978 album, Easter Island. So this song was probably just being pressed at the time of this special. Yeah, he didn't have a very... He peaked quickly, right? He was in, Star Is Born with Barbra Streisand. That was probably his big role. He had some TV roles.
He's talked about in the movie Taxi Driver. That's who the Sybil Shepherd liked listening to when she's talking to Robert De Niro's character, Travis Bickle, in that movie.
Would you... Okay, you and Deleted Scenes are going to give me crap about this.
What?
I haven't seen Taxi Driver.
Oh my... What?
I know.
What? I mean, granted, we all have the movie we haven't seen that we should have seen.
And what was the movie that Sybil Shepherd was in before that? Something Picture Show or something like that?
The Last Picture Show.
The Last Picture Show, yeah. I saw stills from it in Playboy.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, yes, that's another important movie, but no, Taxi Driver. Oh, that movie's a lot of fun if you watch it. It's disturbing on a lot of levels, but
I basically know the whole story. I've never seen it.
It's one thing to know. It's an early Martin Scorsese picture too. Paul Schrader wrote the screenplay.
Dang it, Troy! Yeah, I know. You're right. I know.
That was the one DVD I owned where I fought myself buying the Blu-ray because I'm like, does this picture need to be cleaned up? I don't know if it does. Maybe the grain is good for it. You know what I mean? But I still ended up...
There's something to be said for that. There's something awkward about a high-definition, restoration of these 70s films that always looked grainy in the theater,
Look at that.
I like it, dang it, Troy. And just a status update. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty loose, and it helps. It helps with this. Honestly, I feel like this is goofier than the Star Wars Holiday Special. To be honest. What's that? It's like he died or something, going to heaven or something. I'm a little bit country.
They sing this in every show.
Yes, they did. This was their whole. This is probably what they're most known for. And now he's going to do his whole. Season 3, do we still want to do this thing? A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, written by Marty Cooper.
Uh-huh.
Originally an opposites attract love song, reworked for the Osmonds to be a lighthearted take on the whole sibling rivalry. That became their signature piece. It's familiar. It's catchy. Hear that, Hollywood? No.
So is this the season 3 premiere? Is that what I'm getting from this?
Yes,
Star
it
Wars
is.
must have come out over the summer and was this huge hit, right? That's probably what happened.
Exactly.
So let's get a marching band out here.
Now, I didn't get into band until the 80s. Otherwise, I probably would have learned this. Damn it! I don't know why it keeps doing that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what is up with Cosme today. Hell, I can't even pause this for some reason.
Let me say, I'll talk to the chat. Why don't I do
Please.
that? How's everyone doing tonight, huh? I finally saw Taxi Driver just a few years ago. Not impressed, but Scorsese does impress me. It doesn't impress me much anyway. Oh, dude, you and I will agree to disagree. No, Taxi Driver was one of the formative movies when I was first becoming a, what do you call it? A film buff? Maybe that's the term.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. I think it has some of the best dialogue I've heard in the movie. Peter Boyle in that movie, I love a lot because he's the one taxi driver the other taxi drivers all look up to, and you realize that when he's talking, he's doesn't know what he's talking about and spouts a bunch of nonsense if you really listen to what he's saying. I can't sing the praises of Taxi Driver. Not Taxi Driver, Midnight Cowboy, which was actually a '69 movie.
Yeah.
But I like to look at Midnight Cowboy.
Is that the one I'm walking here? I'm walking.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And you see in Midnight Cowboy how New York is kind of starting to go to see it a little bit in '69. By the time you get the Taxi Driver, I don't know how many years later is it, 8, 9 years later, and everything's gone to crap. And it's kind of interesting if you watch those two movies together. Midnight Cowboy is another one where I would watch over and over again. That's a disturbing movie on a lot of levels.
Yeah, there's
Dustin
some
Hoffman.
subject matter there that's a little bit ew. Right?
The 70s were a rough decade for subject matter. That was... We should actually be doing movies like that now, but nobody wants to do topical movies right now because that means you have to look at reality, and they don't want to do that right now. But anyway,
okay, refresh, folks.
We're
You should be good. Yeah,
okay, I see it on. Okay, thank you.
No, that's
Just came
fine.
back on. Here's the marching band.
Again, no such thing as diversity, right?
Of course,
Yeah, I know, Evelyn. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with Cosme today. It's giving us grief.
Of course, I'm talking about all the hard-hitting movies, but I guess this is the wholesome side of things. In the
It is.
right?
It really is. Yeah, in so many ways. This is kind of funny, though. It's like, okay. Mm-hmm. Little bit country. As a kid, I didn't understand how scripted this was, so I thought they were really antagonizing each other. Now I understand. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. A song by Jim Weatherly. First recorded in '73 by Ray Price, went to /1 on the country charts, which is why she's singing it. But best known by Gladys Knight and the Pips, went to the Hot Soul Singles for 2 weeks in '74. "18 years old. God, she's got a great voice. I compared her to Linda Ronstadt in looks. She doesn't have Linda Ronstadt's voice, but pretty damn close.
Is it me, or do the young people seem, I don't want to say more mature, but maybe more mature?
Yes.
Back
in the 70s, yes. Yeah. There was an expectation. If you were going to be on TV, you were mature. You were professional. You were, yeah. Nowadays, old farts are acting immature.
Yes. I mean, you have some professional young actors, like Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, acts like a professional. I've seen her in interviews and whatnot, but yeah.
She does have a great voice. She really, really does. Obviously not really playing the piano. Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu, written originally and recorded by Huey Piano Smith in 1957. 1972 saw the song become an international hit single for Johnny Rivers, featuring Larry Netchell on piano, as well as other Los Angeles session musicians from the Wrecking Crew. Those of you that are Elvis fans.
So I have a question. Mm-hmm. Who was the audience for this show?
The goal was everybody.
Okay.
It was meant to be for everybody. It was supposed to be something that kids could enjoy.
Grandparents,
teenagers would get into because the younger Osmonds, right? But everyone up to the grandparents would enjoy. Yes, it was meant to be a family show, and that was true for almost all. Yeah, that was funny. That was meant to be true for all of these variety shows. It was to bring in as much audience as possible. What I do not remember is what day of the week did this show appear on. So if someone could look up for me what day of the week September 23rd, 1977 was.
September 23rd, 1977.
You mean when the TV season would begin, unlike this year where it never begins? I'm sorry.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Honestly, guys, it's December. What are you doing?
Come In From the Rain.
Friday.
Actually, it's November.
It was so this was a Friday. Okay, so Friday night, get the family together, right? Come In From the Rain. A song written in 1975, written and performed by Melissa Manchester. For whatever reason, this song just made little 6-year-old Troy cry like a baby. Gets me a little misty too. And it's a song about dear friendship. You know, a friend who's going through a divorce. Come on, you know, tell me all about it.
Right.
We'll get through this, right?
That's nice.
Melissa Manchester said that's literally based on a story from her life, where she had a friend going through a divorce. Jump Shout Boogie from the 76 Barry Manilow album. This one's for you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I am an unapologetic Barry Manilow fan. I really am.
Oh, I still love the song.
Right? I still do. I absolutely do. Yeah, Donnie's faking it on the piano, but I don't care. This is a great song.
Although all of the Osmonds were very musically inclined with instruments and voice.
Yup. Oh, absolutely. They were very, very talented. And they, you know, there was this idea that family bands were like pushed and pushed and pushed. And maybe they were very much encouraged, but they enjoyed what they did. Six is here. Oh, Six, I haven't seen you in so long. It's so good to see you. And Tim, thank you so much for coming. I am having trouble with the stream, but if you want to see where we're at, to the best of your ability, hit that Cosme link above, and you can see this crazy Osmond episode that we're watching.
So this would be on in prime time, right?
Yes.
8
yes.
o'clock?
7, 8 o'clock. Yeah, something like that. This was family viewing.
And then what would come on after this? Like The Bionic Man or something along those lines?
Could be. I don't know. I honestly don't remember. If someone wants to look it up and see what was, TV Guide, Paul Chatto would know.
Paul Chatto's old school.
And bookends it. Well, he's doing a whole series on
TV Guide.
TV Guide, yeah.
I've seen some of them, yeah.
It was really hard to keep it fresh when you had the same formula every week, So, Paul Lynde, comedian, actor, regular game show panelist. He was the center square on Hollywood Squares for many years.
I bet the kids would go nuts if they saw Chewbacca, right?
Yeah. Character actor, distinctly campy and snarky personality. Often poked fun at his own closeted homosexuality, his not very secret gayness. Right. Linda was well known for the role of Uncle Arthur on Bewitched.
Okay.
You might also remember him as the voice of Templeton, the rat in Charlotte's Web.
Oh, yes.
Ed McMahon was an announcer, game show host, comedian, Johnny Carson's sidekick for 30 years. Farrah Fawcett, her married name was Farrah Fawcett Majors.
And I'm taking this as supposed to be Farrah Fawcett here.
Exactly.
Okay, Farrah.
A parody. Parody.
I know it's Marie Osmond.
Right. Farrah Lawston, right. Miners, get it?
Uh-huh.
Farrah Fawcett was married to the $6 Million Man actor Lee Majors.
Lee Majors, gotcha.
Yeah. At the time, she was known as one of the 3 leads in Charlie's Angels. The show's employer in the show, her employer was Charlie.
Yes.
He was never seen. He was only ever a voice on an intercom and speakerphone. His last name was Townsend.
Okay.
Because she worked for the Townsend Agency, which coincidentally is the name of a company my own blonde bombshell once worked for.
Yes, and that's where they got the name from.
Yep.
They actually stole it from that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
But she messed up there. He asked who she worked for. She said Charlie. He goes, "What's the last name?" She goes, "I don't know."
Yeah, exactly. She was a model. She was on a lot of posters. I had one in my room. Smirks and jerks.
I just don't understand why she's making fun of Farrah Fawcett.
Because it's funny.
Well, Charlie's Angels was still very big at this time.
True.
Right?
Exactly.
Probably, yeah.
This is all 70s topical, right? So,
see, kids back in the 70s, we used to have
as the $6 Million Man, Lee Majors, was depicted running in slow motion to paradoxically convey super speed.
I was just going to say, back in the 70s, everybody would watch the same shows, right?
Yeah, and I didn't realize this. Thank you, Karen, for pointing this out. Wonder Woman was on CBS opposite Donnie and Marie. I did not know that. So at this very moment, Linda Carter was Wonder Woman.
Also, so someone else might have been watching Wonder Woman at this time. Then, so
Mm-hmm.
Correct. That's probably what you were watching, right?
I would fluctuate depending on, and I would try to catch things on reruns. And so this is one of those musical interludes, right?
Skateboards.
Yeah. I mean, and these are the same girls that you saw skating on ice earlier, and I know from experience, ice skating and roller skating are two very different skills.
Yeah, that's impressive.
But, yeah, for all of you Tony Hawk fans and whatnot, it was in the 70s that all this stuff started. Oh, those shorts, man. Wow. Okay, now this is a little sped up, but this is still pretty damn impressive. And I have to believe that this was probably filmed separately from all the other stuff and it was edited together, but... So, the way it goes, it's two different boards. The second board was set up because it...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That
saw
seems like
there.
cheating to me. See the teeth? They knew they were self-referential there. 2 years.
Okay.
Family.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many Osmonds are there?
Well, these four are kind of a... When you say the Osmonds, these are the four you're referring to. They're kind of a boy band. Oh, disco. Yeah.
This is Earth, Wind, and Fire, correct?
So
Yes!
The third one was Jay. The last one I think is Merle. No, that's Merle.
No, you're absolutely right. Shining Star, Earth, Wind, and Fire album, That's the Way of the World, issued as a single
disco or
January
funk?
75. Pardon me?
This disco or funk?
Kind of both.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Ellen, Merle, Jay, and I can't remember the fourth one.
Maybe someone can look it up and help us out with that. Song rose to number 1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 chart and the Billboard Hot Soul chart, becoming their first single to top both charts.
You notice they're all dressed alike and doing the same dance moves.
Absolutely.
Because that's the way they did it back then.
Yeah, I try to do Paulina. I just can't do it. Lee Majors later played the Fall Guy, and they name-dropped Farrah in the theme. So, yes! Yes, they did. Absolutely. Also, there's a new Fall Guy movie with Ryan Gosling coming out. I like Ryan Gosling, but... I don't know. The teeth transition. I've seen that before. In Batman the Animated Series, they almost got him episode. There you go. The Joker did his own variety show. I can see that. The older Osmonds had started on TV in the 60s with Andy Williams. Good point, Karen. I didn't think to mention that, but that is an excellent point. The older, people watching this would have remembered that. Good point. Looks like Donnie, but age 10. Yeah. Well, they're brothers. They're all brothers, right? So, yeah, they're going to look alike. Right. And they all got those teeth. They all...
And they were Mormon.
Yes.
So they had a huge family.
Yup.
There's like another 4 brothers or something like that that's not even shown here. Marie was the only girl.
Yeah, here we go.
But see, back in the 70s, all of us come from different backgrounds, different
True.
creeds, religions, and it seemed like we got along better. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I wasn't there. But at least the media didn't seem to single anybody out.
True. So, great little joke here. Asking for an autograph, but it's not for me. It's... People never want autographs for themselves, right? Casey Christopherson, who grew up to be a singer in her own right, and her mom, Rita Coolidge.
Wow.
Rita Coolidge, who, wonderful singer in her own right, who happened to have been married to Chris Christopherson at the time. It's for my brother. And she pulls out a stack of pictures. Get it? Yeah. We better say, yeah. Now, I think everybody in the audience knows this one. You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine, performed by Lou Rawls on his 76 album, All Things in Time. And again, this is two artists singing a love song to each other, but his wife is right there in the wings. They're not really flirting. It's
I
just,
know.
you know.
Love songs.
Right? Dr. Omega says Christopherson rocked in the Millennium and the Blade movies. I'd forgotten that. Thank you for bringing that up. This song is definitely in his range. That's perfect. You notice his beard was already going gray, and he was still a young man. I'd love to hear if there's anyone in the chat right now who has never heard this song before. That's fine if you haven't. I'm just curious.
I've heard it.
It's interesting because singing in this kind of a style is almost like acting, right?
Yes.
Big Al says that Millennium is on a short list of films with friends next year. Good, looking forward to it.
Chris Christopherson's in that. I remember now. That's a pretty good science fiction movie, actually, as I recall. Yeah.
And here we go into and there's the stock footage of the Millennium Falcon that was also used in the holiday special. It's even got an opening scroll, which is more than we can say for some modern Star Wars films.
Evil Force, what? Patriotism. Thrift and good dental hygiene.
Yeah. Yes! It's called Kathleen Kennedy.
I have to tell you, Last Jedi, one thing I was commenting about in Last Jedi, it seemed like the hygiene of all the cast was bad. Like the makeup department was purposely making the movie look bad.
So I was saying earlier that these costumes are all possibly original. That's clearly not the same belt that Princess Leia wore. But the belt that he's wearing implies that this scene takes place after they got the stormtrooper belts.
Right.
Tim Hayes, I'm getting to that. I will bring that up when Darth Vader comes on. Riders to the Star is also from the 1976 Barry Manilow album. This one's for you. That's the hard thing. Some albums, you know, you don't know them all the way through because there's certain songs you listen to regularly. I did not realize this was on that album, so I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that again.
And that clunking is running across the stage.
Yep. Yes, that is Anthony Daniels, uncredited. Taxi.
So are these original songs right here?
No, that's very interesting. So show me the way to get out of this world, because that's where everything is. First recorded by Peggy Lee with David Barber and his orchestra, June 1950.
Okay.
Covered many times since, but most recent to this, Ella Fitzgerald with Bill Doggett in August of '62.
Uh-oh.
A little bit of the John Williams music.
He's laughing.
If you want to join in where we're at, we're most of the way through it, but we are in the Star Wars segment. If you want to click on that link up above, you can watch the stream along with us. And thank you for being here so much, Thomas. All of y'all that have joined me for the first time tonight, I would love your subscription. I would really appreciate it. It would encourage the hell out of me. It really would. Sanford. Sanford has no son. The final episode of Sanford and Son aired March 25th, 77, so that was 6 months prior to this.
Oh, I see.
And because I was focusing on the chat, I missed. That was indeed Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca. I Want to Take You Higher, a terrible version that was just done here, but it was a song by Sly and the Family Stone. It was the B-side of the top 30 hit Stand.
What do you think of Paul Lynde as an Imperial officer?
I love this. I really do. So, Lover Come Back to Me, composed by Sigmund Romberg, with lyrics by Oscar Hammerstein, from the Broadway show The New Moon, 1928. Popularized by Barbra Streisand in '62. I kind of like the Sexy Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I was unable to ascertain exactly which Saturn V launch that was that they used, but I think it was the first flight, November 9th, 1967. Vader's voice, listen.
Yeah.
Not James Earl Jones.
Yes. It's pity the radio program hadn't aired yet. They could have got.
Do you know who it is?
No.
Thurl Ravencroft.
Okay. Who's that?
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Okay.
They're great!
Darth Vader's Raiders?
Yeah.
Boy.
You think that's corny?
Get ready. Motown song written by Smokey Robinson, popularized by the mighty, mighty Temptations in 1966. Speaking of the Temptations, I literally was just chatting with Otis Williams' daughter, Ellen Carter, today. Seriously, I kid you not. I wonder if this is the first time R2-D2 ever sang. Yeah, I mispronounced it because I'm drunk. Give me a break. I thought those might have been the other Osmonds as the stormtroopers because there was, the 4 on the right. I wasn't sure about that, but I suspected. The farce. The farce.
Was that Peter Mayhew in the Chewie suit?
It is Peter Mayhew, but you'll notice they didn't glue the mask onto his eyes.
It looks weird.
Yes.
This.
Sure, if the lights are with me. Leaving on a Jet Plane, written and recorded by John Denver in 1966, but best known by Peter, Paul, and Mary from 1967. Yes, Thomas R. I would call that a fursuit. The U.S. Air Force, the official song of the United States Air Force, adopted in late 40s.
Yes.
Often referenced as the Wild Blue Yonder. Originally, the song was titled Army Air Corps. This is a reprise of Riders to the Stars. You notice those helmets are like extra German. So everyone's taking their bows here, and he's still tied up, and he's got this look like, what the hell am I doing here tied up? Throw Ravencroft. That was a great Darth Vader voice. You gotta admit, right?
I like the one from the radio show because he was cammier than
Yeah.
Jones. Oh.
Wow.
Look at
Ray
that.
Bolger.
Paul Williams.
Yes. And Paul Lind again. I like that they mentioned Rita Coolidge.
What? Wow, thanking the audience. That's
Yeah,
weird.
right?
Instead of yelling at the audience.
May Tomorrow Be a Perfect Day. Written by Alan, Merrill, and Wayne Osmond. Specifically for them. They closed every show with this. May God
Uh-oh.
keep you in his tender
Oh,
care.
they
I
mentioned
love
the G
that.
word. What?
I know, right?
wasn't so bad. You know?
Yeah, but come on, it was kind of campy. You gotta admit, right?
I would take campy over what we have now in a lot of instances.
If you follow that link in the description below to this video, that channel has a whole bunch of the Osmond shows. If you're interested, check them out. If you have any questions about the 70s culture, why I didn't get a joke or something, feel free to message me. I'll happily let you know. I lived through all this craziness, Osmond Productions. There you go. So, real quick, let me just close this out. Okay, we're done with that. We're done with that. You should be seeing Twin Peaks. You don't need Cosme anymore. Hopefully I'll have the presence of mind when I sober up to update this for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, over on where the hell are we going to be? No, we're going to be on Big Al Presents tomorrow, watching Son-in-Law is what we'll be doing. And no, I'm not closing the show and getting into what's coming up in the week. I just wanted to, mention that real quick. Real quick, I want to see, because I'm sorry, I got behind here. Sexy Stormtrooper was kind of hot. See, I was saying exactly that myself. I agree with you 100%, Dr. Omega. R2 sang with the Boston Pops and John Williams' first concert. Karen, do you know when that was? I don't remember. But yeah, I could buy that. And then if you've ever heard the album Christmas Under the Star, or Christmas in the Stars. It was a Star Wars album. I know there was some singing in that one too. Yeah, it's a fursuit. Yeah, Thomas R. I feel like I've seen this scene before in Doofenshmirtz's musical number. In the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special, he had female stormtroopers, backup dancers. I had actually forgotten that, Samuel Proctor. I'm actually surprised Netter didn't bring that up. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Let's see.
Oh, I'd actually forgotten about that.
Yeah, right? The Crofts were not in the credits, so this is probably after they moved to Utah. Good question, Tim. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Yep, you're right. Okay, so it was 1980s with the Boston Pops. So this does predate that. So there you go. But yeah, thanks. You're getting a. Yeah, I brought it up, so you dropped it. Thanks so much. And I guess Mr. Lundell tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. He's doing Tim Burton's Batman from 1989.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, right. Probably the best film version of Batman I've ever seen. And I do have the old serials on DVD, but just saying. Absolutely.
That's my favorite Joker, I'll say that. I know some people like Ledger better. I mean, Ledger's great too, but I did like Nicholson.
So Ledger was more. I could see him more as the comic book comic book Joker.
I give him points for not even trying to be anything like Nicholson's
yes,
Joker. He was doing
yes,
yeah.
And it was very. My understanding of the Nolan era was he gave them a copy of
Killing Joke, I think.
I'm not sure if it was The Killing Joke. I know they all had to read and have on hand the Long Halloween.
That was for the first one, Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. So the fact that their inspiration was comic book based Spot on. This is why, even though he was a hard ass about having it tied into any of the rest of the DC universe, he got the comic book references right. So
I want to say this, though. If DC would have a plan, I mean, can you blame a director sometimes? Because it sounds like, we're going to do all this big stuff, and it doesn't ever materialize, and you're sacrificing your own trilogy.
I did not know that Mask of the Phantasm was getting a 4K release. Thank you for mentioning that, Samuel Proctor. On Sunday on Geeky Geezers, we will be talking about a different 4K release that is getting a theatrical release, which I think is brilliant. The reason I sent it to you, Aged Boomer, is because I think this is marketing. This is smart. This is, if you're going to do a 4K, let's get as much money out of it as we can. Let's release it in theaters and then release it on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever.
It'll be interesting. We'll talk about that Sunday. I did want to mention, though, you own a copy of Mask of the Phantasm. They included it with your Batman the Animated Series set.
Actually, so I own 2 copies of it. So you're right.
What do you mean? You
I bought it separately. I bought it separately, yeah.
After the fact or before?
Before.
Okay,
before.
I did too.
Yeah.
In fact, that was what they used to gauge.
And I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad.
Well, no, they used the Batman Mask of the Phantasm Blu-ray sales as a gauge to see if they should release Batman the Animated Series, the whole thing, on Blu-ray, because they were.
There you go.
So you probably helped contribute to that, yeah.
There you go. I'd love to see, what was it? I'd love to see what Mark Hamill could do with the Joker. He did the voice for the cartoon. I say give him a shot at live action. If you want to see the Joker in live action played by Mark Hamill, the closest you could get is check out
Birds of Prey.
Was it Birds of Prey where he
his
played?
Voice was in it, yeah.
No, yeah. He just did the voice of the Joker. I was thinking
Flash.
The Flash,
Yes.
where he played some character who was very Joker-esque. The Trickster.
He showed up again on the redone Flash, too. That was kind of fun when he was on the newer one.
That kind of connection is good.
They reference, he was this nut running around in the 80s, and they showed screenshots of like the prior when he was on the old Flash show. But I did want to mention to you, Mark Hamill had actually been considered to be the Joker in The Dark Knight. He was one of Nolan's choices that he was considered.
That's cool.
When he went with Heath Ledger, yeah.
That's cool. I'll bet you the reason he went with Heath Ledger, he probably just wanted to go younger.
Maybe that's what it was, yeah. But he was considered.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, so, my gosh, 70s pop culture. Look, my goal is to share with all of you all the pop culture we live with today is built on the back of what I grew up with, right? The toys, the movies and whatnot. This is all the stuff that they're mining today. And when old farts like us are bitching about it and saying you're destroying it and you're corrupting it, this is why. This is our childhood, right? And I'm getting sick and tired of people on the internet going, well, it's just a movie, it's just a this, it's just a that. Look, folks, TV, movies, all of this pop culture stuff is what makes culture. It is what influences you. And they fucking know it. That's why Disney is pulling the shit they are. Because they are trying to steal a generation of kids away from us and indoctrinate them into their religion. That's what it is, right? Yeah. And that is why I do what I do, to share with you. And, you know, Boomer, you with the Geeky Geezers, the good old days and stuff, we share these things to just kind of remind people, if you're dissatisfied with the bullshit that we're getting from Hollywood and the entertainment industry today, we have access to all this old stuff that you may not even know about that was awesome, right? You know? Yeah, Deleted Scenes is in there with us fighting that culture battle, right? that you hear all of your favorite YouTubers talking about. I don't know. Midnight's Edge, Valiant Renegade, WDW Pro, Doomcock, all of those guys.
Paul
right?
Shadow.
Yeah, Paul Shadow, exactly.
Even Paulie, he won't.
Paulie Latino Slant. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Let me build up and hold up Paulie the Latino Slant on things like politics and stuff. We're probably on opposite sides, right? I'm very conservative, he's very liberal. But 88% of what we believe, we're unified on. We're close enough to the center that we agree on most things. And every time I see a video come up from Paulie, I'm like, oh God, is this going to be the video that makes me not like him anymore? Nope, never has been. Never has been. He speaks to the centrist in me. And so if you're not already subscribed to Latino Slant, do so. You really, really should. Not only do we have access, we have the ability to create our own stuff. Thank you, Samuel Proctor. Something I'm always preaching, own physical media, and if it's not available to you to purchase, make it yourself. If you have, like some goofballs, do the streaming thing and the downloady thing and all that kind of stuff, you can write that to a DVD. You can write it to a Blu-ray. Nowadays you can do those things and save them offline so they can never, never, never take them away from you. Because when you own them on their proprietary services, the Spotify's and the Netflixes and all that kind of crap, they can just decide, you know what, this is problematic. We're going to change this version to another version, Or you have a very specific version of a live concert. Well, you don't need that version of the live concert. We'll give you a different version. No, I like that original version I had. You better have it physically stored offline somewhere. I don't begrudge anyone using streaming services, doing, Spotify's and all that kind of stuff for convenience, but own the physical media you love so they can never, never take it away from you. Karen says, I have a humongous collection of books, tapes, and DVDs. You're my kind of people, Karen. Thank you so much. Samuel Proctor, I meant more of creating your own story. Oh, that's true too. And in the description of every last call, I have links to several different MeWe groups that I run, where I am imagining stories the way I wish they had gone. For example, fixing the DC cinematic universe. I imagine a world where all this Snyderverse crap didn't happen, and then we have the handoff to James Gunn and all that kind of crap. If we had started building a interrelated DC cinematic universe, say, starting with Smallville, okay? Could have been great. Could have been awesome. And not 10 years of frickin' Smallville. Do 8 years max. Then peace out, spin him off to the big screen, and then fill the blank with Mercy Reef, for example, right? An Aquaman TV series that has nothing to do with fucking Amber Heard, okay?
I'm wondering when Black Manta would have showed up on Mercy Reef, right? Oh no, it'd be worse. What if he was like his high school friend or something, right?
Honestly, I could totally see that. There was plenty of room for great story with Mercy Reef. I have, and a lot of people, it's available online. You can find it. That original pilot for Mercy Reef, starring Justin Hartley as Arthur Curry, was actually pretty good. I think it would have been great, but they didn't pick it up, and honestly, it was partly because of what happened. The WB joined with something else, and it became the
UPN,
CW.
UPN,
UPN, thank you.
remember that.
It became the CW,
Oh, yeah,
and they
I
had to
remember that.
limit what they were picking up, and so they dropped
Mercy
Reef in favor of another fucking season of Seventh Heaven, a show they'd already done an end to, and then they decided to do another damn season that fucking sucked.
Okay, well, anyway.
Calm it down.
Oh, I hated that show.
Okay.
I loved the whole season, or the whole show up to the end.
The final
Then
season.
when they did that, then they did this whole storyline where Catherine Hicks' character, the mother in the show, she's going through menopause. And they went with every menopause stereotype where they turned her into a fucking bitch. And I hated the character. And I would be watching the show and getting angry. And Netter would look at me and go, I'm not like that. I'm not going through the menopause. Don't give me... And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I said, you know what? That's it. I'm not watching the show anymore because it makes me angry.
And even when I did go through the change,
She was never like that.
I would get hot. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I felt bad for her.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'd bring her cold compresses. It was a rough time for her, you know. I mean, it just...
Which would have been nice in the wintertime if I could actually control it and be warm when I'm outside.
Right? No, it never works. It never works that way, for F's sake.
I remember Smallville kept getting wrestlers from the WWF as guest stars at that time. Remember WWE? Remember that?
Yeah.
Batista was in an episode as like a...
Oh, yeah, Batista. I forgot he was a wrestler before he started.
as a wrestler, yes.
Yeah.
I remarked when I saw him show up on wrestling, it was like, he looks like a demon. That's what I thought he looked like. You know?
Yeah. Samuel Proctor, I'm running the group. I am continuing. Right now, I'm keeping it alive with articles about what's going on in the DC cinematic universe as it is. But my goal is when I have... I never frickin' have time. This is the problem with being a YouTuber who has a full-time job, too.
Yes.
I want to do videos where I could tell the story, you know, as I imagine it. Maybe use some AI art and stuff like that, but I just don't have the time. So guys, check out my community tab. I have a poll up right now. I'm asking your opinion. You know, if you want to see more content from me, the only way I can justify it is if I was to start something like a Patreon or something like that. I'm not even at the point where I want to decide, you know, what service I would go with. I'm just asking you guys to go to the poll and tell me, yeah, I think you should do this, or nah, Friday night last call's enough for me. Just, you know, let me know. But and Tim Hayes, yeah, it's nice to know someone's on my side, knows what I'm talking about, let alone be on my side. Yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely. Around that time, every show was doing episodes about menopause and other hormonal issues women experienced. Yeah, I hadn't made that connection before, but you're right. It's kind of weird. Weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my little plug for... The 70s were... Okay, so here's the bottom line. The 70s were fucking weird. They really were. We grew up in a weird time. All these old people, like myself and Netter and Age of Boomer and a lot of the people in the chat here that know what I'm talking about, yeah, we grew up in a weird time. So you gotta understand why we're a little weird. But, a lot of great stuff came out of it. A lot of great stuff you probably enjoy and are probably annoyed at how it's being destroyed in the modern day. I'll be honest with you, Karen. When Edith Bunker went through menopause, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, please. I think they did the menopause story after All in the Family, at the beginning, first season of Archie Bunker's Place, I think. I may be wrong about that. But whether that storyline was good or bad, I don't recall. I do remember it, but I don't remember the details. All of that is kind of overshadowed by Gene Stapleton leaving the show and the death of Edith Bunker. That storyline breaks my heart. And there are clips of it on YouTube, and if I watch them, I just ugly friggin' cry. I really do. You know, Carol O'Connor, who played Archie Bunker, right? He has this scene. It's just him. It's like a monologue, right? And he walks into Edith's room because he's got to, you know, start dealing with her stuff, and he finds her slipper. And he just bursts out. He's like, why'd you have to leave me? You weren't supposed to go first. I was supposed to go first.
Right.
And he's just basically opening up his heart about, I don't know how I can go on without you. Right?
Yeah.
It is just killer. And then, you know, the little girl that he's fostering comes in, and, you know, she's having a hard time with it too. And it's like, okay, this is why I'm going to continue on, right? Man, that was some great writing. I can't think of any stories like that they're doing today. You know, that just break your heart, make you feel something. You know, it's just consume, enjoy, look forward to consuming next product. You know? So unless you have some extra time and just want to grow your channel for fun, yeah, I wouldn't worry about Patreon. Well, if I had a Patreon or something like that, and I could look at it as a transition, I might be able to do the, you know, what Michael French is doing. You know, maybe make it full time. You know, maybe that's the hope of every one of us, right? But here I am, Mr. 700 subscribers, not even getting to, you know, the magical 1,000 number. Maybe that's asking too much. Maybe I'm just not that kind of YouTuber. I don't know.
Give it time. Sometimes this stuff takes a while, but I know they're not making it easy for us.
Yeah, you're right. No, they don't make it easy.
Karen Owens said Edith had menopause in the second season, according to Wikipedia.
Okay, interesting.
Second season of All in the Family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. Thank you. Yeah, they must not have focused on it for long. I mean, because I do remember it. I just, I don't remember where. Oh, I know what I'm thinking. She had some other kind of health problem going into, I don't remember if it was at the end of All in the Family or at the beginning of, she had some sort of health problem that kind of led into her death. I want to say like lupus or something. I'm not sure exactly.
It's like, and they had a lot of really hard-hitting stories on that show. Like the one where Edith was attacked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They always had those very special episodes and whatnot. No, it was good. Fuck. You know, social commentary. You know, that's something brand new. No. We've always had social commentary on TV. They just made it a little bit more applicable to everybody, not just focusing on, you know, a third of the viewership, and all the rest of y'all can screw off. 700 subscribers plus 9 is quite an accomplishment. Thank you for the encouragement, Tim. I appreciate that. That does help. It really does. And yeah, you know, make sure you guys are subscribing to each other, please. I can't necessarily get Tim, you know, maybe 300 subscribers from, you know, tonight's stream, but you know, if I can get him 1 or 2, I'd super appreciate that. If you planned on making a bigger YouTube channel where it becomes your income, prepare to deal with YouTube's shenanigans even more. Well, if I'm going to do that, I'm shooting for the stars. I'm going to branch out. I'll definitely, you guys might not know this. I don't promote it much here, but I also have a Rumble channel. Everything I do here backs up to Rumble as well. So if anything ever happens here, you know, and you want to follow me every Friday night, maybe subscribe to my Rumble channel, and if anything ever happens here, find me over there on Rumble, you know. YouTube really needs yeah, well, and I really do think Rumble is the next best option. It's growing, but it's slow. Maybe. No, you're absolutely right. As long as there's a monopoly, we're all kind of screwed, right? And welcome, Gorilla Random Thoughts. Thank you so much for being here. Phlebitis. Okay, thank you. Aggravated at working at Archie Bunker's place, which led to her fatal stroke. Okay, yeah, I didn't remember the details. I was pretty young too, so I didn't even know what phlebitis was at the time. So you know, and her attacker seemed to be a little bit moronic about the attack. Well, yeah, they played it a little soft, is what I'll say. If they did the same storyline today, it would be a little bit more edgy, you know. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I super appreciate all these comments, because that's telling me there's a lot of people here who, you know, kind of know what I'm talking about in the 70s, the entertainment that we enjoyed back then. And yeah. So that's where I think I'm going to wrap it up for this week.
If you must.
Yeah, no, I absolutely must. And next week, I think y'all know, is the holidays. So for the holidays, we always expect, you guys might have family plans. You might not be able to be here live. If that's the case, you know, that's fine. I super appreciate you guys that are always here. Go, if you have the opportunity to spend time with your family, spend time with your family, by all means. But next week, I will still have a show for all of y'all that don't have anywhere else to be. Come hang out with us, because we don't have anywhere else to be either. And Netter and I will be streaming. What am I gonna be?
Thursday,
oh yeah,
Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
No. That's Thursday on Netter's network.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's going to be doing the Charlie Brown Christmas special, which is Thursday. The Friday next week, I will be doing my annual watch party of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which I did a great little talk on Pops on pop culture. We talked about the show. Well, I'll be doing the rewatch next week, which I do every year. If you got nowhere else to be and you want to watch a movie with us, come hang out with us.
Oh, I see.
But and I didn't even ask you, Boomer. Are you going to be? Would you be available next week, Thursday or?
Not Thursday.
Excuse me, next week, Friday. My apologies.
Friday, yeah, I can make it. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it's not like you haven't seen it before, but you know, come hang out.
I have it on my Voodoo. I also have a physical copy, as you've always said.
There you go, and me too.
It was actually a nice little box set. It came with 5 John Hughes movies on Blu-ray and the.
Oh, you got that one? Yeah. I will be. As usual, I'll share it on Cosme if you don't have your own copy. But guys, this is a classic. Get it? You want to have Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for Thanksgiving, and that's the plan for next Thursday. But coming up this weekend, so tomorrow night over on Big Al's channel, another Thanksgiving movie, and I didn't even realize this was a Thanksgiving movie. We will be watching Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore. And again, I will provide the Cosme link. I think the problem wasn't as much Cosme as my version of this Donnie and Marie, so I don't think we'll have the same problems tomorrow night. But tomorrow night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, over on Big Al Presents, Son-in-Law for Thanksgiving. Just thinking, I don't want to miss anything. Sunday.
Sunday. Deleted scenes.
Deleted scenes at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. that is unscripted, and I'm sure Deleted Scenes is going to drop the link, and he's going to tell us what the title is, and he's always a little bit crafty with those titles. It's like you kind of got to guess. It's a little puzzle what his topic is going to be. But it's a great 1 hour lead into Geeky Geezers. Agent Boomer, what are we going to be talking about at 8 Central, 9 Eastern on your channel?
We have a lot of stories. We'll be talking about the Madam Web trailer that just got dropped this week.
I got some thoughts. I got some opinions.
We'll save them for Sunday.
Yes, I will.
We got a bunch of other stuff. I think there was some more Ghostbusters news.
A little bit of Ghostbusters news. Look. I'm sorry. I'm the Ghostbusters, guy. I'm crazy about Ghostbusters, and I'm going to tell you all about it. And I'm so looking forward to it. So yeah,
there's other stuff too, which I know we had a lot of news stories at the beginning of the week, and I'm like, I don't even want to be adding any more on because
I know, right? And then I sent him one where I'm like, okay, this is probably just a 1 or 2 sentence bit, and he's like, okay, and I'm like, okay, no.
No, it's like you and Daniel. It's like, oh, look at this, it's coming out, and it's like, okay, maybe the director's cut's better. I don't hate this movie. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it deserved the hate it got, but at the same time.
My thing isn't the 4K release. It's that they did a 4K release and they're going to release it in theaters. Hey, I'm fired up about that.
Maybe I'll go check it out. That's actually something that a certain House of Mouse start releasing some of your older movies in theaters rather than some of your new ones for the time being. That might be the idea. Yeah.
Is there a Star Wars 4K other than the fan produced one? Because
yeah, there's the Lucas special. No. Is there a Star Wars 4K?
I don't think 4K. I know. There's a Blu-ray.
Why are they always behind on this?
When the fans are already friggin' doing it, Disney, for fuck's sake.
Even Lucas was behind this, though, man.
Warner Brothers learned this lesson long ago with the Donner cut of Superman. When the fans started putting together a fan edit Donner cut and they got a cease and desist, they said, please, just do this yourself and we'll buy it. And Warner Brothers said, okay. And they did the Donner cut, And Warner Brothers has had that history. So when the Snyder cut came out, I wasn't surprised. I'm like, look, they did the Donner cut. Why not the Snyder cut? And if they do other cuts of other movies, they're just giving the fans what they want. Look, multiple versions of a movie, make more money, make more money, make more money. That's what you're in business for, right? Disney, pay fucking attention. If you build it, they will come. But they're asking for it. If you don't do it, if you tell them no, you will take what we give you and enjoy it. And if you don't like it, you are istophobes. They will not come. And if you haven't figured that out in the past decade, screw you, Disney.
Okay, honey, let's calm it down.
So have we done the other side of midnight yet?
No, didn't get that far. Thank you for being my designated driver, Agent
Because
Boomer.
he's ranting.
So midnight East Coast, 11-ish, Central Time. Other Side of Midnight with deleted scenes. Gosh, I gotta tell you, I've been on his Other Side of Midnight a couple times. It's a nice little wind down, relax. Get ready to get some good Z's before the week starts again. I honestly love The Other Side of Midnight with deleted scenes. I'm sorry, I hadn't gotten those on the schedule yet, but Deleted Scenes has Western Cinema simulcast with Jedi Bill. Sunday at 3 p.m., The Left-Handed Gun. Action Theater simulcast, Sisu on Thursday. I was getting there. But before we get there, Tuesday on Deleted Scenes. Deleted Scenes puts me to shame because I'm here bitching about being a full-time employee and then trying to do YouTube on top of it. He's a full-time employee and he's doing friggin' almost daily freaking streams, for crying out loud. So Tuesday, Deleted Scenes channel. Sparkwood and 21. We will be coming at you with the next episode of Twin Peaks. And let me tell you something. Twin Peaks is one of my favorite TV shows. I hope they never remake that. And even if they never get to do another season of it, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what we have. And we'll talk more about that on Tuesday on Deleted Scenes channel. Any Birdman sightings?
Yes. Wednesday I will be on with Birdman, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central Standard Time for our annual Thanksgiving Eve show where he may do some unboxings and I'll talk about the Black Friday deals and just chit chat. It will be a fun chill time. So
little pause to get back to the Donnie Marie thing.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel Proctor says he just asked his dad, and it's likely that his grandparents watched the show at the time. They were in their mid-30s at the time, and he said yes, they probably did watch it. Samuel Proctor's grandparents were in their 30s.
In the 70s.
In the 70s.
Yes.
I feel old.
Well, don't we all?
I know, right, Boomer? Ask them and get back to us. That's continuity I'd love to know about. Yeah. That's
part of the problem is it's funny because, like I said last weekend, I did a rewatch of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Remember, at the end of the movie, he says he feels young. It's not just about. It's also about the times we're living in. I think they are dragging on us.
This is why I don't even get angry anymore. I just roll my eyes and flip the bird to keyboard warriors online saying, get with the times, the old boomers, and, things change, and da-da-da-da. It's like, you know what? I'm just wise enough to know that you're a stupid kid who doesn't know what the hell you're babbling about.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the things that I'm sharing with you all, hoping that you'll enjoy them along with me. And revisiting the Osmonds, revisiting the Star Wars Holiday Special, the good old days on Geeky Geezers, right? All the rewatches we do on Netters Network and Big Al Presents and Deleted Scenes makes me feel young again.
Yes.
And I love being able to share it with you all. Absolutely.
For sure you're going to say, and I love being young.
Yeah, exactly. To add to that, my dad was born a few months after Star Wars came out. Okay, so your dad and I are probably, contemporaries. He's a little younger than I am, so that means, wow, you're younger than I thought, Samuel Proctor. That's not a bad thing. I'm not disparaging you based on age. It's just, if anything, the comments that you've made over the years, I thought you were older than you are, which you should take as a compliment. I also have reviews coming up of The Killer, Niad, and Sympathy for the Devil. Yeah, Deleted Scenes. Not only does he have a lot of great live streams that he's doing like almost frickin' every day, he's dropping the videos too, which I commend him for big time. That brings us back to Thursday. I already mentioned Netter's doing Thanksgiving Charlie Brown thing again. Cosme, I'll host that. You can watch along with us because screw whoever it is that now owns them and has put it behind a paywall. And then again, Friday, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. If you guys aren't doing anything, take your turkey and cranberry sauce and stuff. Make yourself a sandwich. We'll watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And as I say every year, I'll be on camera so you can watch a grown man ugly cry, because I cry at the end of that movie every single damn time, and Netter's got to come and give me a hug because.
And then I tell him he can't watch it again.
And then she tells me I can't watch it again. Until next year when I have my annual watch party of it. Saying "get with the times" to a baby boomer is the most ironic thing because they coined that phrase when they were young. Each generation just got more extreme each time. I think that I think most of us with YouTube channels, most of us that are in this age bracket, right? All we're trying to convey is we've been around long enough to have some wisdom. If you are intelligent enough as a young person, you can learn from our wisdom without having to relearn, reinvent the wheel yourselves. If you choose not to, well, screw you, you're dumb. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. Yeah, you know, those aren't pillows! Yeah, I laugh at that every single time. Oh, how about them bears? And Netter's the one who pointed this out. Neither one of them indicates that either one of them are interested in sports. That's right. They're just being men because
Manly men.
Yeah, being manly men. So, considering our rewatch tonight was only 45, 50 minutes long, I have gone way over, and I'm so glad that Age of Boomer's sticking with me because he said he doesn't have to work tomorrow. So,
well, not in the morning at least.
Okay, we'll wrap this up. So, I think we've covered all the ground that we need to cover. Age of Boomer. Any last words? Anything you wanted to mention that I didn't mention?
No, I think we got everything. But like I said, this was interesting. The 70s variety special.
Right.
We need something in this country culturally to bring everybody together, though. It's getting ugly out there, and I'm really worried about 2024 as far as the divisiveness. I think it's going to hit the head. Right. I think it's going to come to a head next year.
Dude. I could do a political stream one day, and I probably will. Just like deleted scenes, I'm a little afraid it might get my channel yeeted, but I'm happy to talk about. Look, I don't care left, right. You know, like I was talking about, Latino slant. There's common ground there, but there's some uber lefty, alt left is what I'm going to start calling them. These friggin' socialists. We let it go. We got complacent, and the socialists are friggin' taking over. And I'm seeing so many of my friends on the left starting to move to the right. Not necessarily because they necessarily share all of my, ideology and whatnot, but because the left has gone so far left.
They've gotten scared.
It's pushing them to the center. So it's a crazy, bizarre time. And honestly, as an amateur historian, I hate to sound black pillish, but this is like, end of the Roman Empire type. Things that I'm seeing happening. Just saying.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, frick. I'll be dead before that happens anyway. So
anyways.
I'm sorry. That's real black pill. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Anyways.
Sorry I went there.
I'll have some nice things to say Sunday, though. I got a game recently that I really enjoyed, and I'll talk about it on Sunday. A video game. Okay. Oh, great. If I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I don't know. However, we've seen some shit. Yeah, that's exactly it. There is age. With age comes wisdom. If wisdom doesn't come with age, you're a moron. Really. And unfortunately, it's true, because I know people my age that are still friggin' morons who haven't learned. I've mentioned this on streams before. And you've probably seen him in the chat before, Mark Melnikoff. I'm only calling him out because, that's the name he uses when he's in the chat. Mark, oftentimes, he'll send me news articles or whatever, and he'll go, the regarding line is, Troy was right again. And I'm like, okay, what did Troy say that, I'm right about? And, look, I am not Nostradamus. Just an armchair historian who understands history, makes the connections, and
my predictions are oftentimes right. You know? Hell, I'm not even, what's his name? Kamer Pasha, who thinks he knows everything and makes all the predictions right. You know, I base my predictions on history. And unfortunately, it's like a curse, right? It's like Cassandra's curse. I make predictions and I'm almost always right. And that comes with wisdom, you know? I'm not sure if it's going to be the end of the Republic or the Empire. It's one of the two. Well, you listen to the socialists and they say this is the American Empire, but no, I don't think we've entered the Empire period. You might be right, Samuel Proctor. I hadn't made that connection, and there you go. There's a young man who's paying attention to history, and he's already a step ahead of me. Good man. Good man. This could be the leaving the Republic and entering the Empire phase. Mm-hmm. So those of you that are what's the meme these days? Men are always thinking about the Roman Empire. This is why. This is why. It's because of the age that we live in. So there you go. I'm rambling because I am uber drunk. There was a lot of rum in this, and I'm right now at the bottom of it.
Well, I think we're done. Do you want to have any last words?
We are done.
Maybe Netter has some last words for us?
I will. Well, I'm going to repeat myself because I know I asked you this already. Do you have any last words, Agent Boomer?
No, I just said tune in Sunday for Geeky Geezers and
right.
Talk about
absolutely. And for crying out loud, subscribe to Agent Boomer.
Oh,
for crying out loud, I have 700 subscribers and he has
not as
less. He should have as many as I do, or more, because he's Agent Boomer.
Well, yeah.
But thank you, Agent Boomer. So yeah, join
on Wednesday. I'll be there too, and also subscribe to Deleted Scenes. He's got plenty of good stuff.
Absolutely.
Netter's Network should be a good show. Thursday, the Charlie Brown Christmas special. I mean, not
and
Thanksgiving.
My last word for tonight, of course, is going to be, look, if you didn't like the holiday special last week, if you didn't like the Osmonds this week, well, I mean, did you like the sequel trilogy? I mean, by comparison, I'd say they're both okay. I'm just saying. And Netter, can you take us out?
Yeah, why didn't I do that?
Yes, please do.
Well, y'all know what I always say.
I do.
We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it is so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat, and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you guys aren't just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys and we appreciate you so very much. You can be anywhere right now and you choose to be here. That is so encouraging. So thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for joining us another week. We will definitely see you next time. And in case we don't talk to you, happy Thanksgiving.
There you go. And if you get the opportunity to spend Thanksgiving with your family, do it. But I want to underscore what Netter says about you guys being family to us. We got no one coming over. It's just going to be Netter and I having our turkey together. And that's why we're doing the streams on Thursday and Friday. So any of y'all that have nowhere else to be,
you can be with us.
You're our family. You can hang out with us. Thanks, guys. Have a great one. And hope to see you on the next one. Take care.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.